MMA Boxing Talk here. This is a prediction video for Stipe Miocic versus Junior Dos Santos. This is a rematch. Um, these two fought, of course, back in 2014, December of 2014, so a little while ago. Um, their first fight, was a classic. It was one of the best UFC heavyweight fights I've ever seen. Um, so they're fighting this weekend. I cannot wait. Junior Dos Santos, he won the first one, of course. I gave him 3 rounds, rounds 3, 4, and 5. I thought he deserved to win. Very close fight, though. Stipe did great, and at the time, he was completely exceeding expectations because Junior Dos Santos was still seen as, by far the number 2 guy in the world. Only had lost to Cain Velasquez. So Stipe, went into that fight. He did well. He did better than expected, but he definitely gassed in the later rounds. He exerted a lot of energy going for the takedowns, and he really wasn't that successful. He only got 1 takedown out of 18 attempts, and that is discouraging when you're going for takedowns. You're going for takedowns, and you're not getting them. And when you do get one, he pops right back up. So and I think a big reason why Stipe was so takedown heavy in that first fight, really going for the takedowns, was because the blueprint was out there. Cain Velasquez, the way he beat Junior Dos Santos, that was the way you beat him. It's the only person who ever beat him. And Stipe has good wrestling, so he probably thought that's the best way to do it. The blueprint's out there, and he did well. He fell just slightly short, and I think gassing in the later rounds was a big reason of that. So I mean, I think this fight, Stipe Miocic knows he can hang with Junior on the feet a little more. His boxing is definitely right there with Junior Dos Santos. He might not have he might not have the big crisp shots, but in tight, very very accurate. Also has a lot of power. Uses good footwork. I mean, more movement than a guy like, say, Ben Rothwell, Junior Santos' last opponent. A little harder to hit, of course, but Stipe, I think he's definitely obviously the more active fighter lately. Since their last fight, he's fought 4 times, winning all of them, and of course he won 3. He fought 3 times last year, so very very active. Dos Santos, only fought twice since their fight. But maybe that was a good thing. Maybe the time off was good for JDS to recover. We got to remember he had 3 big time wars 3 years in a row. He had the wars with Cain Velasquez in 2012, 2013, and fought Stipe Miocic in 2014. Took a full year off, and then came back and got knocked out by Alistair Overeem. So I mean, maybe this time off was good for Junior Dos Santos, training at ATT now. Can't hurt things. I think it'll round out his game, but I mean, his boxing will always be his number one. He's a primarily a boxer, pretty one dimensional in the sense because I mean he doesn't really use his jiu-jitsu. So, but anyway, JDS last win against Rothwell, he looked great. He was fighting very smart, using good movement. He threw in a few kicks here and there, but he was conservative and he fought smart. But I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure that conservative style is going to benefit him against Stipe. Because that works for Ben Rothwell, a guy that is flat-footed, comes forward, doesn't really move his head, doesn't really have very good boxing. He's just there to be hit, pretty well punching bag. That conservative style, it's easy to pick him apart and just tag him up. But against a guy who knows how to box, a guy that can get a takedown, I mean, 1 out of 18 is not many, but obviously Stipe can get a takedown. So I just feel that Junior Dos Santos is going to have to take a little more risks, take a little more chances in this fight if he wants to win it. Just like the first fight, he was He was taking chances. He was getting hit, but I mean, I just feel that Junior's best way of winning is going to be a knockout. I don't see him winning a decision this time. I see Stipe winning a decision or getting a late stoppage. But of course, Junior has that power, always dangerous, and you can always get his opponents out of there. But I just think Stipe Miocic, he has that championship experience now. He's not going to go into this fight saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm fighting Junior Dos Santos, one of the best fighters in the world. Am I ready for this level?" Obviously he was confident, but I'm sure he had some doubts. It's just only natural. This time, it's going to be different. He's fought in a hostile crowd in Brazil. He took the belt from Fabricio Verdum there, and then he fought in front of his home crowd of Cleveland, Ohio. Lots of pressure. He dealt with that, and got over him out of there in the first round. Now he's confident as ever. He knows he can go in there and fight with the guy like Junior Dos Santos, and he knows he knows what mistakes he made in the last fight. Conserve your energy a little bit more. Pick your spots with the takedowns a little better. Maybe try to more surprise Junior Dos Santos with the takedowns instead of lunging in, trying to get them, telegraphing them. Do less of that. I gotta go with Stipe Miocic in this fight. I think that obviously since their last fight, he's improved more. He might still fight in the same manner, but so does JDS. He's always fought in that same manner. And the one kicker is for me is that I don't think Junior Dos Santos can be conservative and win a fight against Stipe. Maybe he'll catch him and knock him out, but I think for Junior Dos Santos to win, he's going to have to take some chances, throw some bombs, and I just don't know if Junior Dos Santos has another war left in him. This guy has been through 3 crazy wars, 3 years in a row, all within the last, 4.5 years. So I just don't know if he has another 5-round war left in him, personally. And he might go out there and prove me wrong, and they might get into another war, and he might win a decision just like the first fight. But I just see that being very unlikely. That's just my opinion. That's just how I see it. But I'm going with Stipe. I do think it's a 50-50 fight. Flip a coin. But I think Stipe has more ways to win. And like I said, that I just don't see Junior Dos Santos going through another 5-round war and coming out on top. That's just how I see it. Just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think, though. I definitely want to hear how you guys see this fight. I mean, great matchup. This is going to be the cherry on top of a great night of fights, because this will be an exciting fight, despite how it plays out. So anyway, definitely subscribe if you like the video. Like the video as well, and check me out on Twitter at MMABoxingTalk1. That's it for this one. Stay tuned for more prediction videos coming out this week. I got Frankie versus Yair prediction coming out, and Joanna versus Jessica Andrade. If you go back, I already put out the Maia versus Masvidal prediction video. I'm going Masvidal in that one, and Dustin Poirier versus Eddie Alvarez. I'm going Eddie Alvarez in that fight, but that's a good fight. Could go either way. But that's it for this one. If you liked the video, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at MMABoxingTalk1. Peace.